Let us be grateful for the sunrise and the sunsets, for the forest full of trees, the animals, the birds, the rivers, lakes and seas. Let us be grateful for all that we've built. Let us be grateful for the love that binds us and the wind that sometimes knocks us off our feet. This World Environment Day, let's celebrate nature. Welcome to Alternative 20, Play for Nature.
Our home isn't the four walls we have built around ourselves. It's the community, the city, the environment. And if these last 3 months battling the COVID crisis has taught us something, then it's the power each one of us have. If we can sit at home and slow a pandemic down, each one of us can definitely make a difference. So this World Environment Day, let's take one step forward in creating a better world and a better environment and protecting this place that we call our home. This Environment Day, I'm going to take a pledge to avoid littering, using plastic, wasting water, planting more trees, using eco-friendly goods, and spreading awareness and conserving nature. So I want you to spread it amongst your friends and your family members, and let's create this better world. You and I can do that.
Hi, I'm Samyukta Hornad. Welcome to Alternative 20, Play for Nature. Alternative 20 is an initiative started by Vimove Foundation. It's a one-of-a-kind event where artists, musicians, painters, environmentalists, and changemakers across the country come together to spread awareness about nature and the environment on this very special day, World Environment Day. To tell us a little more about this initiative, we have with us the founder of Vimove Foundation and the curator of Alternative 20 here with us, Mr. Vinay Shinde. Hello, sir.
Hi. Hello, everyone. Vimove Foundation is startup social enterprise. We have a team of volunteers where we have a focus area of working towards holistic education development. Mostly we work for government school projects, and we work on arts and culture, and we work towards social initiative programs where we can give positive message to the society. Alternative 20 is one such example we are conducting this year for the World Environment Day.
But I'm curious, why the name Alternative 20?
Country like India with a vast population, bringing an awareness and the motivation is very important to solve any of the social problems. As you know, this year has been devastating year for both mankind and the nature, how corona has been impacted. What I believe is to face the future consequences of any pandemic, the relationship between human and nature is very important. Alternative 20 is for a social cause with the help of lined up all the personalities who are supporting this initiative. And I would kindly request all the citizens and the public to join hands for supporting the donation for Alternative 20 for the relief of COVID-19 situation.
Thank you, sir, for starting such a noble initiative. All of you here can donate as well. Click on the link below and donate as much as you like. All the proceedings will go to the vulnerable section of the society who are really affected by COVID-19. Sparsh. He's a 16-year-old child prodigy. He's a songwriter, rapper, and a singer himself. Even though he was born with 130 fractures, he has an undying, unbreakable spirit.
Hey everyone, this is Sparsh, aka Pure Rhythm, and I just wanted to wish all of you a very happy Environment Day 2020. Time is running out, everyone. Our world is not the way it used to be. And I think we need to do everything in our power to conserve what Earth has given us so that we can preserve it for the generations to come. After all, time is the most precious thing our Earth has given us, and life is the most sacred. With that in mind, here's a song that you all might know very well, and this is my humble rendition of it. There's a place in your heart, and I know that it is love, and this place could be much brighter than tomorrow. And if you really try, you'll find there's no need to cry. In this place, you'll feel there's no hurt or sorrow. There are ways to get there if you care enough for the living. Make a little space to make a better place. Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying if you cared enough for the living. Make a better place for you and for me. Yeah. If you want to know why, there's a love that cannot lie. Love is strong, it only cares for joyful giving. If we try, we shall see. In this bliss we cannot feel fear or dread. We stop existing and start living. Then it feels that always love's enough for us growing. So make a better world, make a better world. Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying if you care enough for the living. Make a better place for you and for me. And the dream we were conceived in will reveal a joyful face. And the world we once believed in will shine again in grace. Then why do we keep strangling life when this earth crucify its soul? Though it's plain to see this world is heavenly, be God's glow. Save this world so precious, so blessed and so dear. Protect His beauty and splendor, don't let that disappear. Preserve our animals and plants and humankind as well, so that our future generations can have a story to tell. Protect us from evil and spread the word of good, of peace, love, justice, virtue and brotherhood. Cause we only have one earth and we can't waste our motherland, so let's move as one force. I think it's time to take a stand. Thank you so much. Happy World Environment Day, everyone. And remember, this earth is precious. Let's not waste it.
When we dig a little deeper into nature, we start understanding ourselves, lives around us, and the entire world a bit better. When artists use vibrant colors, and musicians use instruments, and architects use creative designs inspired by nature, the outcome is truly marvelous. We present to you Rakesh Chaurasia, an innovative modern Bansuri practitioner. Shubodh Podar, an artist inspired by the rhythm and movements of nature. Trupti Doshi, an architect by profession, a poet by passion, and a photographer by inspiration, the eco-architect. Let's watch them perform right now.
क्या हम नहीं जानते कि हमारी जिंदगी की टहनियां सूख रही थी? बहुत दिनों से पत्तियां झड़ रही थीं, बहुत दिनों से तांडव मचा रखा था हमने। दम घुट रहा था बहुत दिनों से। अब रास्ता बदलना होगा, हरियाली वापस लानी होगी।
Imagine waking up with the dawn chorus of bulbuls and koels orchestrating a melody. Tree leaves whistling with the morning breeze. The rising sun painting the eastern sky deep orange. Imagine leaning over your balcony, to smell the fragrance of fresh earth, and seeing your children plucking flavorful tomatoes and pulling out juicy carrots from your organic kitchen garden below, harvesting the day's fruits and vegetables while playing with colorful butterflies. Imagine watering your garden with freshly harvested rainwater pulled out from your water reservoir or pond by a large colorful windmill rotating in your garden, and all your home's energy needs fulfilled by solar panels harvesting the sunshine. Imagine your home as a green ecosystem. Imagine your own Atmanirbhar Ghar. Sounds like a dream? This can be our reality. Our homes can be self-sufficient in our three main requirements: energy, water, and food. Energy. Homes, when designed to bring in natural light, eliminate the need for artificial lights during the day. Homes cooled or heated through natural, energy-efficient means bring down the power requirement to less than half. This reduced power load can be met through renewable sources like solar, wind, biogas, or hydropower. Water. Rainwater harvested from the rooftop of the home can be used for various purposes, including drinking and cooking. Rainwater that falls on the ground around the home, along with treated wastewater, can be used for gardening and flushing. Excess water can be filtered and recharged back into the ground to replenish the depleting water tables. Food. With edible fruit forests, vegetable and herb gardens around the home, we not only fulfill our own food requirements, but also make our home a biodiverse ecosystem. We give back to birds, butterflies, squirrels and bees their natural habitat. Needless to say, these green spaces are excellent outdoor classrooms for our children to understand the wonders of nature. The current crisis has clearly revealed that we cannot afford to do what we have done so far. It is time to reimagine our homes. Homes are living entities with stories just like you and me. They are the backdrop of our lives. They are an extension of our skin, our second layer of protection after our clothes. In urban areas, we spend more than 80% of our lives inside a building. We can make our homes in sync with nature, smarter, sustainable, more meaningful. Homes that enhance our well-being. Homes that are designed to complement nature instead of competing with it. Home is the building block of our community. To create healthy, happy communities, we need healthy, happy homes. Atmanirbhar Ghar. Healthy and happy homes, self-sufficient in energy, water and food, can be our best step forward towards creating an Atmanirbhar Desh.
Wow, that was some experience. Truly in the lap of nature. I think during a crisis like this, artists are essential to escape from the suffering and reality. What do you think, sir?
So if you look at carefully, music and art creates the mood, and it has a power and ability to affect the bottom line. So music and art brings the behavioral and the emotional changes to the public and the society. So ultimately, that's the bottom line.
We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. These thought leaders have looked beyond profit and redefined success in a way of giving back and helping others. We now present to you Kiran Majumdar Shah, Executive Chairperson, Biocon Limited, a biotech entrepreneur and a healthcare visionary. TV Mohandas Pai, Padma Shri Awardee and Chairperson of Manipal Global Education. He is also the co-founder of Akshaya Patra, the world's largest midday meal program. Let's hear some inspiring words.
On this World Environment Day, let us look at the COVID-19 crisis as one that has caused the greatest human adversity, but also one that has created the biggest environmental opportunity for human society. Why do I say this? Because over the last few months, when the world has been locked down, the environment has improved in front of our very eyes. We have never seen bluer skies. We have never seen so many birds flying in the skies. We have never seen cleaner water bodies around us. And animals are thriving in the environment. What does this all show? It shows that although we have abused and polluted the environment for decades, it took a very short time for the environment to revive and to improve. And this leads me to believe that there is hope. We can actually believe that the future is not as bleak as it is. Because it also points to the fact that we can build a more sustainable world, a more sustainable environment. What it has also shown us is that this invisible enemy, this invisible virus, has shown us the way. Let us not lose this opportunity. And let us pledge ourselves to better behavior. Let us pledge ourselves to coming out with better environmental policies that expose the greed, the hypocrisy, and the insensitivity with which industrialization has happened, by which we have been irresponsibly polluting our environment. And let us hope that we can leave a much better and more sustainable planet for our children in the years ahead. Thank you.
There are many things that you and I as ordinary citizens can do to prevent climate change. Climate change comes about because we are using the Earth's resources 1.5 times what the Earth can replenish. There is too much of carbon being released into the atmosphere. There's too much of water getting polluted, and the air has become foul, and the water that is available in our lakes and our rivers is foul and incapable of being used by us for drinking. But there are things that we could do, you could do, and I could do. And let me explain what we have done in my previous company. First, we must make sure that we cut down on our consumption of energy. In your home, in your office, please make sure to turn the lights off. Please make sure that the taps don't leak. Please make sure you use less water and don't waste water when you use the water. Please make sure that you put full water bottles in the flush so that when you flush, too much water doesn't come down, and do very simple things. And from my experience, you can reduce about 20% energy by better practices, including putting up LED lights everywhere, and don't use artificial light unless it's required. Second, very importantly, please check up all the electrical equipments that you use. Most of us have equipment which has been there for 7, 10, 15 years. In the last 5 years, most equipment has become energy efficient, and newer equipment can save 30 to 40%. And make sure that if you can, and it is old and you need it, change that equipment, because that will save another 15-20% of energy. The next thing is, look at how you can use green energy. Can you put a solar water heater in your house? And I feel, and we have practiced this, you can save at least 40 to 45% of per capita energy if you follow good practices and if you make sure that you use the most modern, up-to-date green equipment wherever you go. And then travel is a big consumer of energy. Please see whether you can walk rather than take your bike or your car. Please see whether you can avoid a lot of unnecessary travel by using technology like Zoom, like we have done when you're stuck with COVID. And I think these practices will also make sure that you consume less energy. Try to see whether you can work from home for your office at least 2 or 3 days a week. And I do feel that we must educate our children how to do these simple things like turning off the switches, making sure use less water, not standing under the shower for too long, and also use proper equipment to reduce our carbon footprint. If all of us reduce our carbon footprint, we can make sure that things improve. In this COVID, I read an article which says that the 2 months when the world was locked in, there was 7% less discharge of carbon. And because there was less discharge of carbon for 2 months, it is set back or improved the climate by up to a year. And we have to make sure that this carries on. And we as a community have to come together to have best practices, to educate each other, and to work with government to promote alternate energy. And once you promote alternate energy, you'll do very well. Can we as citizens, as a community, promote cycling and walking in our cities? Can we improve the footpaths so people walk more? They'll become more healthy. Can we have cycling paths so that people can cycle better? Can we share cabs and otherwise after this corona goes away so that we can do things? Can we ask the government to have electric vehicles for public transport instead of diesel vehicles? Can we also make sure that we get a better metro in Bangalore city and other cities? So let us work as a community to make sure that carbon discharge is brought down, and we can see the benefit that we had when we had locked down for COVID. We could see the blue sky, the air was fresher, and I'm sure all of us have become healthier. So I appeal to you, become a leader, look after the environment, and the environment will look after you. As Gandhiji said, the world has enough for everybody's need, but not for everybody's greed. Thank you very much.
Nature's music brings us pleasure, and during troubled times like these, helps us ease pain. These artists have taken inspiration from nature to heal the world through their music. We now present to you Shubhangi Joshi. Having traveled across the US and India through her performances, her music cuts across borders. Vasundhara Das, a multilingual musician and who's also widely recognized for her work with the environment. Let's watch them heal us through their music.
The earth is healing and cleansing herself. For far too long, we, the human race, have been exploiting her gifts without a thought about how this affects the balance of life, without giving a thought to the fact that we actually share this planet with other creatures, and that our every action has a deep and lasting impact on everything around us. For far too long, we have believed that the earth belongs to us alone, but now we are being taught again that we have to think beyond our own needs. We are being taught that we are in fact a small speck in the ocean of the Earth's evolution, and that if we continue to move forward without learning from our mistakes, there will be a new order and a new balance. The mindless destruction of our precious forests has not only destroyed the homes of countless plants, birds, and animals, but it has also made us more vulnerable to viruses and bacteria that now no longer have their natural habitat to live in. For far too long, we have cut off the sacred bond that we share with our planet. And now, the time has come to come home again. Our song speaks of the fact that we have a lot to learn about our relationship with the earth and the environment around us, that we need to acknowledge our mistakes and accept the pain we have inflicted upon the environment and thereby on ourselves. And we need to learn how to redefine our relationship with the environment as we re emerge from this pause. Now is the time. Yahi hai waqt. And now, more than ever, we have found the right tone, the tone of humility. Sahi hai saaz.
Rest your heart and your mind. You held your breath for a while. The fog is lifting. Can't you see the world is bigger than you and me? There's much to learn, much to gain. There are lessons in the pain, in learning how to live once again. तलाशो तो हवाओं में है सारे जवाब, सबका ही है सागर और सबका आफताब। यही है वक्त, सही है सांस, यही है वक्त। There's much to learn, much to gain. There are lessons in the pain, learning how to live once again. ಶೋಧಿಸಿ ಗಾಳಿಯಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಮಾರ್ನುಡಿ, ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೆ ಸೇರಿದೆ ಕಡಲು ಆಕಾಶ. ಇದೇ ಸಮಯ ಈ ದೃಢನಾದ ಗಮನಿಸಲು ನಮ್ಮ ಹೊಸ ಪಾಡ. There's much to learn, much to gain. There are lessons in the pain, learning how to live, in learning how to live, in learning how to live once again. Fire, 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 fire,
Yahi hai waqt, sahi hai saaz. I've been listening to the song of the earth. This collective pause we have all been through has brought the earth's song to the fore. Have you heard it too? When the birds sing us awake in the morning, when the wind rustles through the leaves and fills our lungs, when the rain washes our body and our soul, when the sun lights up every corner of our mind. We have been handed an opportunity to make a conscious reset, a conscious shift, to notice what we were missing before and to think about how we want to move forward into the future. This raises three key questions. What are the things I did before that I wouldn't do going forward? What were the things I didn't do before that I would do going forward? How would this impact my immediate surrounding, the people, the environment? There's a deeper understanding now among many of us that every action we take has a deep impact on everything around us, the people, the environment. But how did we come to deeply understand this? By being forced to be constantly aware for the last few months and even for the months to follow that we may be silent carriers of a virus with the potential to take life, even our own. The ultimate buck stops with me. We've been forced into a constant state of awareness on how we breathe air, how we maintain personal hygiene with water, and what we consume. What do we really need to survive? Let's talk about air. All of us, no matter where we live on the planet, noticed a distinct improvement in the quality of air even as early as a week into our respective lockdowns. For those who were fortunate in this time to be safe in our homes with enough sustenance, what do we do with this gift of heightened awareness due to the deep breathing of clean air? Can this time change the impact on our environmental footprint? The role of forests, trees, and adequate green cover in this conversation is pivotal. Let's talk about water. Water has been a bone of contention and continues to be one in many places that remain on the brink of running out of potable water. How much of this is due to lack of rain and changing weather patterns which are brought about by shrinking forests and green zones? How many of us realize the connection between water issues and forest and green cover? We've had floods and droughts in different parts of our country occurring more commonly now than ever before. It is now common knowledge that increasing temperatures in the atmosphere are making ocean levels rise, and the balance is now lost. How are we re-emerging from this time, and what can we do with respect to our water crisis? Earth. The food we eat is only as clean as the earth. And here again is a buck stops with me moment. Is the earth being tended to with care? Are we bombarding it with harmful chemicals? For what? For what we consider better produce, better looking produce? I have become aware that I don't need many things anymore. And if I consume unnecessarily, the energy spent on making things and the fallout on the environment from that reduces. It may seem like a negligible thing on a personal level, but if many of us decide to live measuring our footprint, the impact will be significant and we will be better for it. We need to proactively demand for accountability and transparency from our government too, regarding how their policies impact our green zones, our water bodies, and our soil. We no longer have the luxury to sit back and let others do this for us. India belongs to us. We are the collective that is responsible of how we pass her on into the next generation.
Wow, that was so soothing and true words to live by. I go to nature to heal, to keep calm, and to learn how to put in order my life and everything around me. To live a better life, we go to nature. What do you think, sir?
Law of nature has 5 elements: air, water, space, earth, and the fire. By learning the nature's uncertainty, it is truly high time for the community, society, and especially for the younger generation that environmental education development is really required to learn how to live in the future.
Changemakers are dedicated and passionate souls who inspire us through their actions. They have started revolutionary movements and built it from scratch. Today, we have with us environmentalists and doers who are working tirelessly for the betterment of our Mother Earth. Arun Krishnamurthy, the founder of Environmentalist Foundation of India. He is known for his contribution towards cleaning over 39 lakes across the country. Nitya Ramakrishnan, the founder of Whitefield Rising, a citizenship engagement movement for societal betterment. Chandrabhushan, one of India's foremost environmental and climate change expert. He is the president and CEO of iForest. Anil Shetty, an activist, entrepreneur, and a young social leader. Let's hear them inspire us through their words.
Namaste. This is Arun Krishnamurthy from the Environmentalist Foundation of India, EFI. Over the last 13 years, across 14 states in the country, we have worked towards conservation of nearly 108 freshwater lakes or ponds. When we walk around or when we drive past a road, we see these small patches of water bodies in most urban rural landscapes of India. And the first thought in all of our minds would be to either go drink water from this water body or to jump into it if we know swimming. But when have we ever done that? What has been our relationship with our water bodies, at least in the last 3-4 decades? Have we spent enough time to understand our lakes and ponds? A true natural treasure which we are undermining and whose benefits we don't understand. Living by a lake today is a nightmare in this country simply because you and I have dumped our solid waste, liquid waste, have converted these lakes and ponds into mosquito breeding grounds. Why can't we reimagine our lakes and ponds? These are habitats. You name them, most life can be found in these freshwater bodies. A frog, a snake, a bird, a garden lizard, butterflies, dragonflies, and more. Think about our natural healthy well-being. If you and I had a cleaner water body next door in our neighborhood, where you and I can just go sit, read a book, or just get lost in thoughts, wouldn't that be wonderful? Why should we settle for mediocrity? Why should we accept polluted lakes? And if we are not ready to accept polluted lakes, why should the lake accept all our trash? It's time we reimagined our waste management at homes. Every single plastic, polythene, rubber, thermocol, or any non-degradable item that you and I are safely discarding into a dustbin, in most cases, 95 to 96% of the cases, it's getting dumped into a marshland, a river, a lake, a pond, if nothing, into the ocean. Please do not assume that you and I are responsible citizens by just segregating and dumping it elsewhere. That's no waste management. And we are bearing the brunt of improper waste management because lakes and ponds are getting converted into dumping sites. These are meant to be natural habitats. This is a wake-up call. This is a humble request to fellow Indians. Lakes in Kolkata, Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, Pune, Chandigarh, all these cities have wonderful water bodies. Rural pockets such as ranging from Vidarbha to Tirunelveli, from Meghalaya to Gujarat, Andamans to the Lakshadweep, Jammu and Kashmir to Trivandrum, there are wonderful water bodies. And what unites us as one country is not the religion, it's not the language, it's not our politics, it's not our movies, it's our ability to abuse lakes and ponds. Lakes across India are dirty because of us. And it's time we took charge in a democratic and in a peaceful manner where we volunteer for India and her environment. We are way past the time of complaining and we are way past the time of waiting for somebody else to do something. There are wonderful projects and all of this can be done only through a collaborative effort. There can't be one man, one woman, one army, one hero, one organization. It has to be a collective, collaborative effort for our future. Through this platform on this World Environment Day, I, from EFI, request all of you to now step out today, tomorrow, sometime this week. Go in search of a lake or a pond in your neighborhood. Look at the different life that you can still find in these polluted water bodies. Reimagine that lake or a pond as a beautiful habitat where everything is normal and beautiful as nature wanted it to be. Then think about how you and I can volunteer together. There is no point just joining this concert where you watch all these performances. You're here because you want to do something. And I'm here because I want to do something with you. And all that we want to do is clean up lakes and ponds in this country. India is a beautiful country, blessed with several natural habitats. It is our responsibility to explore and experience these natural wonders. Why are we denying ourselves an opportunity to actually experience the true environment? Come forward and volunteer for India and her environment to clean up the lakes and ponds across our country with EFI. Happy World Environment Day. Jai Hind.
Hi, I'm Nitya Ramakrishnan from Whitefield Rising. You're on Alternative 20 by Vimove Foundation on the occasion of World Environment Day. It's Corona times, and one of the positive things about the Corona times is the impact it's had on the environment. The environment has been rejuvenated. And you wonder why the world's leaders can't have rules and regulations so that we don't impact the environment as much as we have. But for us to demand that, we have to do our duty first. And over the last many years in Whitefield Rising, I've learned a lot from my colleagues. And there's a few things I've implemented in my life that I'd love to show you a little about today. We'll talk about waste first. I segregate all my waste. But guess what? 80% of my waste is actually not waste, it's black gold. It all goes into, you guessed right, this is a composting pot by Daily Dump. And you get out of it within 3 to 4 months, all the food waste converted into black gold, which goes back into my garden. Most of the rest of my waste, which is very, very little, is actually my dry waste. This goes to a responsible recycler. In our case, in Bangalore, we send this in our community to Hasirudala. And the very little amount actually goes to sanitary waste, which also goes to a special vendor who then processes it responsibly. There's hardly anything at all in this sanitary waste, and I'll tell you why very soon. Finally, the last category in our community is this whatever goes into landfill. As you can see, I've had nothing for a week to send to the landfill. That's all it takes. Segregate your waste. Now, the sanitary waste is something really important to tell you. The sanitary pad that you see over here is one of the worst things you can do for the environment. Month after month, every woman sends dozens of this to the landfill, and it lays there for hundreds of years. You can do this, or you can do this menstrual cup. Both super easy, and this has actually been a lifesaver for many a woman in the last few years. Really good innovation. I also do many things with our waste. This is many Tetra packs. This one is from peanut curds from Good Milk. I have coconut milk packs and some juice packs. All of these are given to a responsible organization, and then they convert it to a bag like this. This is what I carry to shops. I no longer need to take any bags from shopkeepers. I also carry with me responsible plate, spoon, glass, and a water bottle, of course, so that I never have to, on the road, get any disposables if I choose to eat or drink on the road. I'm also really good with cleaners in the house. I've learned from people like Rishita and Lakshmi how to make bioenzyme. And this is nothing but citrus, water, sugar, and a little bit of dry yeast that gets fermented and makes this amazing liquid that can just be used to cut any grease or surface dirt. If you don't want to use this, you can just use good old vinegar and soda. Put this into a spray bottle, you're done. You no longer need to use any kind of toxic cleaners. What goes into my body is as important. We work with natural products like these, shikakai or other organic soaps on our body and our hair. Last but not least, what I learned, much to my shock, was that what I eat or drink affects the environment way more than everything I just told you about. You guessed right. The food on our plate actually affects the environment big time. A whole food, plant-based, locally sourced diet wins over any of the other foods that we eat. Your basic, traditional veg, fruits, grains, especially the traditional grains like millets, are the best thing you can do for your body and the environment. Stop drinking milk, have nut milk, and Google videos like Cowspiracy to know how much of a damage the dairy does to the environment. That's all I have for you today. Thank you. Happy World Environment Day.
The theme of this year's World Environment Day is Time for Nature. This is an extremely appropriate theme considering the fact that the world is currently experiencing one of the worst environmental health crises it has faced this century. Now, there is one thing that we need to learn from COVID-19 pandemic. It is that destruction of environment has enormous costs. And we all are paying that cost in the form of lost lives as well as in form of our economy, which has been decimated in the last 3 months. And this clearly exemplifies the importance that we all must place on preserving the nature. Over the last 10 years, a vast amount of information has been collected on the status of nature, especially on the state of biodiversity and wildlife. And most data now indicates that in the last 50 years, the destruction of the nature has been enormous. In fact, scientists now believe that humans are committing something called as biological annihilation, or the sixth extinction. The rate at which we are losing biodiversity and wildlife is anywhere between 100 to 1,000 times more than that would have happened due to natural reasons. We all must remember that the Earth has gone through 5 mass extinctions in its history. The 5th one was when dinosaurs were wiped out from the face of the Earth. And now scientists believe that we are committing the 6th mass extinction. This is where we are. Now, people believe that without nature, human can't exist. And they are right. We cannot have a planet in which only humans live and everyone else dies. And for this, we need to understand the intricate web of life that bind us with all other species. If they don't survive, we will not survive. And that is why we must learn from COVID crisis and preserve our environment and ensure that wildlife and other biodiversity has the chance to survive and thrive on this healthy planet. But climate change is real, it is happening, and it is impacting the lives and livelihoods of communities in India and across the world. Now look at this climate spiral. This is the temperature spiral of India for the last 119 years. Just watch carefully how the temperature in Indian subcontinent has increased over the last 119 years. As you can see, post 1990, the temperature has increased at a very rapid pace. And this rapid increase in temperature is reflected in the last 5 years. It seems as if we have a runaway temperature increase in the last 5 years. Now, what are the implications of such tremendous increase in the temperature? Well, we will have more extreme rainfall, we will have droughts, we will have floods, agriculture will fail, and the poor will become poorer. In fact, the worst impact of climate change will be on the poor, who have contributed the least to climate change. And this is the environmental justice dichotomy in the climate change debate. The rich, who have caused the climate change, will suffer the least, whereas the poor, who have contributed the least, will have the maximum impact. And we need to find solutions for this contradiction that exists in climate change. We will have to build the resilience and the capability of poor to deal with climate change. And this is especially important for rural India, rural India is going to suffer tremendously because of the climate crisis. 50% of India's population depends on agriculture and fishery and forestry. They will be the worst hit because of climate change. So, one, we will have to reduce emission so that we can contain temperature increase within reasonable limit. The Paris Agreement has set a goal of 1.5 degrees C. We should all try our best so that temperature doesn't increase beyond 1.5 degrees C. And most importantly, we now have to work on climate change adaptation. We will have to adapt our economy, our agriculture, our water system to the changing climate. And let me reiterate it again, building the resilience and adaptability of rural India is going to be the most important thing.
Namaste. Wishing you all on the occasion of World Environment Day. This year theme is Time for Nature. By 2050, there will be more plastic in sea than fish. In last 50 years, many of the birds, reptiles, mammals have gone extinct. Pandemic has exposed the toxic impact of human civilization on Mother Nature. Within a month of lockdown, Ganga was clean. Himalaya were visible from Bihar and UP. Dolphins were visible in Mumbai. Air quality in Delhi has improved drastically. Often, we need to distance ourselves from nature so that it can heal. Here on, we need to think long term. We need to build sustainable solutions. Solar, wind power, biogas, generation, all these things has to become a priority, and we should reduce our dependency on coal, gas and oil. Our need for resources will change the geopolitical scene. China, India and Pakistan will have tension due to the availability of fresh water in Tibetan Plateau. We need to think in terms of the society to come together to build more sustainable solutions. Even though infrastructure projects need clearance, we need to be very careful. We have to find balance between economy and ecology. We need to reformulate our relationship with nature and find equilibrium. On this World Environment Day, let's commit time for nature. Namaste.
We often forget that we're all interconnected and our actions truly impact nature. The next set of presenters truly believe with determined change, we can restore Mother Earth. We now present to you Merlin D'Souza. She is known as the female A.R. Rahman. Vimlendu Jha, an activist and a social entrepreneur. He is the founder of a youth-run NGO, Swecha, in Delhi. This NGO focuses on environment and social development. Vinay Hegde. Vinay Hegde is a cosmic splash artist. He is also a self-driven creative architect of design solutions. Indiva, one of India's largest all-female multilingual band. We have Merlin D'Souza, Chandana Bala, Vivian Pocha and Shruti Bave performing for us today. Let's watch their mesmerizing performances.
Happy Environment Day to everyone who's watching this. It's 2020, the times that we're living in right now, the COVID times, the COVID-19 times. It's unprecedented at many levels. So there is a public health crisis. There is a humanitarian crisis that's actually unfolding in different parts of the country. But to talk about environment on World Environment Day during these times is extremely critical. Natural resources that we are talking about are strained. And of course, as in right now, we've seen in the last 2 months of lockdown, we've actually seen cleaner rivers, we've seen cleaner air, we've actually seen Himalayas from hundreds of kilometers away. So something to celebrate for all of us, that imagine a lockdown of just a few weeks has actually been able to clean the environment. That's a reminder for all of us that it's possible to clean the environment. It's possible to clean our rivers, our air, our waterways, if there is a strong will, if there's a strong desire. Is there a connection between COVID-19 or corona deaths and issues of pollution? Every study that has actually happened, which looks at correlating the two, establishes that yes, people are more vulnerable. Cities that are actually polluted are more vulnerable to corona or many similar diseases. In last few weeks, we've also seen the locust attack, which is again attributed to climate change. We might think that it's just a few insects flying from one part of the world to the other. No, it is all connected to erratic rainfall, the change in season, many of those things. So, it's time for all of us to pause in our thought, pause in our action, to really think about what do we want to do, what's the world that we're trying to imagine for ourselves and for our future generations. It's time for us to take that pledge that we need to really fix our own individual action in many ways as we can, and also ask for credible, responsible, responsive action from our respective governments at various levels to really take care of the environment. Environment is not something which is just a romantic thought. It is something which is integral to our life. It's very integral to our livelihood. It's related to our health. And it's actually, if you look at our economy, a lot of it is linked to the environment. At the end of the day, when you over-extract water resources or you over-extract our minerals, it has an impact on everybody in that sense. So time to take that pledge, to save the environment, time to take that pledge to really be a responsible, active, sustainable citizen. And on World Environment Day, I wish all of you guys who are watching me right now and watching this program as well, take that pledge and do the needful. Happy Environment Day once again.
Hi all, I hope all of you enjoyed the show. We exist because of nature. Nature is something which has been handed over to us by our ancestors and which has to be passed on to our next generation. It is our responsibility to hand it over a better world. Nature is a great teacher. Recently, it has taught a very big lessons to all of us. Humans are facing a number of problems today, such as global warming, dangerous diseases, climate changing due to interference and overconsumption. A well balanced ecosystem is the need of the hour. My creation depicts the diversity of the nature on one side, with the birds and other species are safe and happy. Other side, pollution and human activities causing global warming. This is human impacts on environment. My picture depicts the two faces of the earth possible by changing the human behavior. So use wisely, consume thoughtfully, simplify life and help nature thrive. Plant more trees and make our planet green. To sum it up, save nature and nature will save us. Thank you.
Our cosmic oasis, cosmic blue world, the most beautiful planet in the universe. Our cosmic oasis, cosmic blue world, all the continents and the oceans of the world. United we stand as flora and fauna. United we stand as species of wonder. Black, brown, white, with different colors. इंसान है हम, धरती हमारा घर. इंसान है हम, धरती हमारा घर. We are the earth is our home. We are the earth is our home. The earth is our home. इस धरती की रक्षा हम करेंगे, एक साथ हम मिलकर सजाएंगे. इस धरती की रक्षा हम करेंगे, एक साथ हम मिलकर सजाएंगे. All for one and one for all. United we stand, yeah, one for all. Black, brown, white, with different colors. इंसान है हम, धरती हमारा घर. इंसान है हम, धरती हमारा घर. We are the earth is our home. We are the earth is our home. The earth is our
हमें धरती ना छोड़ो, आपरा पृथिवी नावेही भूमि, अस्मत् कुटुम्बं वसुन्धरा.
इंसान है हम, धरती हमारा घर. इंसान है हम, धरती हमारा घर. We are the earth is our home. We are the earth is our home. The earth is our home. The earth is our
Wow, I have never seen anything like that before. I'm truly awestruck. It's in times like this that you'll realize that Mother Earth doesn't really need saving. She knows how to heal herself. And if we are going to trouble her, she knows how to take care of us. What do you think, sir?
Looking at the beautiful lyrics and the performance and the creative art, what I feel is we must act now to change before it's too late. So the food we eat, the air we breathe, the water we drink, and the climate that makes our planet habitable all come from nature. So it's definitely a song for tribute to the Mother Earth.
Yeah. I think for our own selfish reasons, we need to look after our planet. Celebrities, entertainers, and all influential people should use their power responsibly. Some of these entertainers and celebrities have shown their love towards nature by contributing to environment. RJ Jain, she's a very well-known radio jockey, an MC, and a vlogger who loves nature as well. Varsha Rajkova, she holds the title of Miss Scuba International 2016 and Ocean Ambassador India. She is the director of Miss Scuba India and is now a climate reality leader. Denzel Smith, a film and stage actor, a producer who's doing his bit for nature. Let's hear some of their wonderful words.
I don't want you to be hopeful. I want you to panic. I want you to feel the fear that I feel. I want you to act. I want you to act like your house is on fire, because it is. Hey, this is me, Jane, and I'm from 94.3 Radio 1. Plus, I'm also an extensive blogger when it comes to food, fashion, lifestyle, luxury. This year, World Environment Day, it's time for nature, and that is the theme for 2020. And going with how beautiful and abundantly amazing the nature looks right now, right outside my window, the birds are chirping, the air quality is so much better. This is the time I talk about something that you can do with respect to your food habits that can be really good for the environment. I mean, there's so many things about food that I don't think we've really understood, and that is why we eat the way we do. But I think we need to go back to the basics, and this is one really big way that we can, impact the environment in a good way. Speaking of nature, right, the kind of food processing that is involved today, the kind of agricultural activity that is there today has exploited so many of our natural resources, which means I think the number one thing to keep in mind is to genuinely reduce food wastage and look at going local, guys. I mean, this is something you're hearing around you, but these are not just terms. This is something I want you to definitely consider. Now, I'm a non-vegetarian, and for a long time, I did not know about the impact on the environment. And I'm not saying I'm going to switch to vegetarian tomorrow, or veganism, or whole plant-based diets. It's a big trend across the world, but there's a reason why healthy eating, organic eating, sourcing local food, having your own little garden where you get your greens, these are all increasingly important ways of really reducing your impact on the environment.
Hi guys, I'm Varsha Rajkova, Miss Cuba International 2016 and Director Oceanic Diva. As an environmentalist and ocean ambassador, an artist and a climate reality leader, I would want to wish you all Happy World Environment Day. Today, I would take this opportunity to talk about how important our oceans are and why should we protect our oceans. Our oceans provide animal protein that people consume. They are also important as they absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and reduce climate change impact. Oceans' productivity and diversity is of a vital interest for humankind. Our oceans provide us security, economy, and is very important for survival. We need healthy oceans. One of the major problems that our oceans are facing is dumping of plastic. Plastic pollution is creating disturbance in the flow of ocean currents. Oceans have two types of currents. One is the warm surface currents and the cold deep currents. These are responsible for balancing the ecosystem and impacts climate change. Another major concern is coral bleaching. Corals are important for us. Corals protect the coastlines from the damaging effect of wave action, thunderstorms, and flooding. Also saves loss of life and damage of property. We need corals and we need healthier corals as they act as the barrier and protects our survival, provides us security. Yet another problem that is a major concern is the nuclear waste or the radioactive waste and the biomedical waste. These release toxins that are consumed by sea life and organisms. Reason: these microscopic marine algae produces 50% of the oxygen that we breathe. Very important for our survival, and we should know and protect these marine food chain and the marine life. So let's do our bit, be an environment hero, protect the environment and conserve our oceans. Our oceans provide us food, a livelihood, tourism, economy, also acts as a natural defense against hazards such as coastal erosion, provides us raw material for medicines and also building materials from coral rock and sands. We must make use of the 3 R's in our day-to-day life in order to contribute our bit for protecting oceans and saving environment.
This is Madhu here, and I wish you all a very happy Environment Day today. As we all know that our environment is constantly changing, and therefore it has become more important that we become aware of all the reasons that these changes are happening, and maybe we can help it, stop it, or change it. Yeah, often we think we are all sensitive about what is happening around us in our world. We know about the natural disasters, the fire in Australia, the earthquake, the cyclones, the locust swarms, and the coronavirus that has brought the entire human civilization to a halt. So we know what is happening. We know about the global warming and the carbon imprint and the effect, the usage of plastic and the effect it is having in our marine life. So we know what we are doing, right or wrong, and we know that the changes, we are seeing it. But often we feel that we cannot do much about it. We feel sensitive, we feel sad, we feel it, but think we cannot help it because we think that we need to do something big to bring about a change because the goal is mammoth, and we think that whatever we do may not be able to bring about a big effect. But that is where we are wrong, because we all belong here. Everything that we think, we feel, every step we take, every breath we take, every action we take or don't take, we make a difference. We leave an imprint, we leave a print. We make a difference, we matter, you matter, I matter. However small, but we matter. And when you know that I matter, we will do our bit. Otherwise, we always think that someone else will do. We rely on our governments to make the policy changes or make the difference. We rely on somebody with a big global presence or a company. We think that they have the resources to bring about the change. We always think that someone else is going to do something. And yes, they will. But we have to partake in it. We have to participate in it. And that is where I come in. I have no initiative. I have no organization. I'm not a policy maker, but I make a difference. Maybe we cannot all not do big things, but we can all do that one small thing that will result or help the big global movement. Let's not put the responsibility on someone else. Let's take our responsibility. Let's all, on this day, on this World Environment Day, take a pledge gently. There is no aggression, but gently know that you belong here and you are important and you make a difference. I make a difference. So let's take that one step, because we can and we matter.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to start by making a revealing statement which you might find unbelievable. The cause of the coronavirus pandemic is deforestation. Yes, deforestation. So let's just first define deforestation and then see its connection to the pandemic sweeping the world today. Deforestation is the removal of a forest or stand of trees from land, which is then converted to non-forest use. Forests still cover about 30% of the world's land area, but they are disappearing at an alarming rate. Between 1990 and 2016, the world lost 1.3 million square kilometers of forest, according to the World Bank, an area larger than South Africa. Since humans started cutting down forests, 46% of trees have been felled. And what is the coronavirus or COVID-19 as we've come to know it? The coronavirus, COVID-19, is a zoonotic disease. Zoonotic diseases are transmitted between animals and humans. Almost a century's worth of global trends confirm that zoonotic disease outbreaks are occurring more frequently. On an average, 3 new infectious diseases emerge in humans every year. And 75% of all emerging infectious diseases in humans are now zoonotic. What is causing the spike in these diseases? Here's what decades of scientific research has to say. Studies have shown that deforestation and the subsequent loss of wildlife is the root cause of increases in infectious diseases. Deforestation is the main cause of this destabilization. 60% of infectious diseases originate from animals, and 70% of emerging infectious diseases originate from wildlife. AIDS, for example, came from chimpanzees, and SARS is thought to have been transmitted from an animal still unknown to this day. Because of deforestation, we have lost 60% of all wildlife in the last 50 years, while the number of new infectious diseases has quadrupled in the last 60 years. It is no coincidence that the destruction of ecosystems has coincided with a sharp increase in diseases such as COVID-19. Natural habitats are being reduced, causing species to live in closer quarters than ever before, to one another and to humans. As some people opt to invade forests and wild landscapes due to business interests, while others at the other end of the socio-economic spectrum are forced to search for resources for survival, we damage the ecosystems, risking that viruses from animals find new hosts, and that's us, human beings. This pandemic is a stark reminder of our dysfunctional relationship with nature. COVID-19 is also a reminder that human health and environmental health is closely linked. The most fundamental way to protect ourselves from zoonotic diseases is to prevent the destruction of nature. Where ecosystems are healthy and biodiverse, they are resilient, adaptable, and help to regulate diseases. COVID-19 has demonstrated the interdependence of humans and our environment. Representing one of the estimated 8 million species on the planet, we are a key part of an intricate, delicately balanced web of life. Damage to one part of the web, of which forests are an integral part, upsets the balance and affects the whole system. But the pandemic also represents an opportunity to plan a better recovery and build a better future. Half of the world's GDP is highly or moderately dependent on nature. For every rupee spent on nature restoration, at least 9 rupees of economic benefits can be expected. So, stop deforestation and let's invest in restoring nature. It is only us who will benefit.
Everyone has a voice and a part to play in the coming revolution to save the planet. It's important for all of us to be in this together, to heal together, to fight COVID together, and grow together. The next set of performers believe in transcending their love for nature into art. We now present to you Gauranga Das, He's the director of Govardhana Eco Village and the co-president of Iskon Chowpatty Temple. Vilas Nayak, a world-famous speed paint artist. He's won hearts across the globe and crossed all boundaries, even in art. He's taken creativity to a whole new light. Bryden and Parth, that's coming together of two Bangalore-based musicians with Indian and Western classical backgrounds. This cross-genre is something you can't miss. Let's go into this magical journey.
I would like to express my gratitude to our visionary organizers, the Vimove Foundation of Alternative 20, an online concert event organized towards celebration of the World Environment Day 2020 on June 5th. Every challenge brings a lesson along with an intensity proportionate to the challenge. The battle we are fighting is quite huge, and we are all aware of the larger environmental concerns have right now shifted to the background a little bit because of the pandemic. 97% of the scientists studying climate change agree that the greenhouse gases, both from natural and human resources alike, are at the root of the environmental problems, causing the melting of ice caps, causing droughts, wildfires, and hurricanes across the global landscape. Air pollution is one of the biggest global killers, affecting 100 million lives with an estimated 7 million lives every year. Water pollution is another major concern, with 80% wastewater being released back in the water ecosystem. 18 billion pounds of plastic waste goes into the ocean every year, killing over 1 million seabirds. Almost half of the population globally will be living in water-stressed areas by 2050. At Govardhan Eco Village, we follow the inside-out approach, triggering self-transformation, working first on cleaning our inner environment by fighting greed, which we consider as the root cause of the environmental issue manifesting in the entire outside world. The foundational principles lie in two verses which teach us the eternal fact that nature is a property of the divine and we have responsibility as caretakers. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Bhumirapo analo vayu kham mano buddhirevacha ahankara itiyam me bhinna prakritirashtada. In the Ishopanishad, it is described, Ishavasyam idam sarvam yat kinchit jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjita ma grudah kasyasvit dhanam. Nothing belongs to us. Everything has been entrusted to us as a gift of the Lord, and we are the caretakers. It is our duty to utilize it in a justified quota that belongs to us and not fall prey to greed which can never be satiated. All the 5 elements come from the Supreme Lord, and we respect them as a gift given to us. This wisdom is the basis of simple living, high thinking, which we practice and advocate at the Govardhan Eco Village. Govardhan Eco Village has to its credit more than 19 international recognitions for comprehensive solutions which we have modeled with the proven method of hub and spoke symbiotic sustainable development model. The Govardhan Eco Village GEV with the hub approach has successfully adapted and implemented various green technologies on its 100 acres campus. Sustainability initiatives in the campus include organic farming with unique collection of rare seed bank, cow protection, solar energy generation, platinum rated green buildings, a pyrolysis plant for plastic to fuel regeneration, a soil biotechnology plant, a biogas plant, a rainwater harvesting tank with 1 crore liter capacity, etc. Govardhan Eco Village with the spoke approach has been working with more than 70 tribal villagers, thus making sustainable impact over 1.5 million lives. The beneficiaries include over 100,000 cataract patients, 9,000 students from 24 rural schools, 7,000 plus communities with water resource development initiatives, 300 plus women self-help groups being supported, and 70 plus skill development beneficiaries. Major amongst the 19 international recognitions include the International Green Apple Award, IAA Olive Crown Award, Asian Sustainability Leadership Award, the Scotch Renaissance and Platinum Award, and the Limca record for converting the 4 acres of wasteland into cultivable land. Govardhan Eco Village has been accredited to the United Nations Environment Assembly. And finally, Govardhan Eco Village also won the 2017 United Nations World Tourism Organization's UNWTO Award for ecotourism as a catalyst for rural development. Our efforts have to get tougher or solid when our going gets tough. Amidst contemporary challenging solutions of COVID-19, we continue our optimistic actions with effort to free meal distribution through our Govardhan Anna Kshetra program. With support of our empathetic supporters, our team at Govardhan Eco Village could serve more than 100,000 meals to needy souls with nutritious, sanctified food post 28 March 2020. My talk today was an opportunity to share our lesson of caring more, serving with love more, to be more compassionate with respect for people, planet, and divine, for a better sustainable world and a better quality of life for all. I once again wholeheartedly thank the organizers for their commendable job and the audience for investing their time today for a greater purpose.
Hey, I'm Brian Lewis.
And I'm Parth Chandiramani.
And we're very happy to be a part of Alternative 20. As performing artists, we've traveled the world and we've seen all the beautiful things that the world has to offer in its natural element. But it also pains us to see the kind of destruction we've done as a human civilization. And I think there needs to be more of a dialogue and a conversation around it, and people need to be educated on the topic.
Yeah, people really need to come together and address these issues and educate each other about environmental crisis. And this is exactly why we wrote the song Ye Awaaz, a single from our upcoming album. This is to raise a voice for all the things that we believe in.
I hope you enjoy it.
And a 1, 2, 3, let's go! हौसलों से बढ़ रही है ये आवाज, डर नहीं है, लड़ पड़ी है ये आवाज। हमें कोई रोक ना पाया है, हमने ही तो बनाया है, मेरा है तुम्हारा है ये जमाना। बाज ना तू आया, हमने ही तो चलाया, मेरा है तुम्हारा, सुनो जमाना। फासले तय कर चुकी है ये आवाज, अकड़ रही है, झगड़ रही है ये आवाज। ना कोई बहाना है, एक आशियाना है, मेरा है तुम्हारा है ये जमाना। क्या नया क्या पुराना, ना मिलेगा दोबारा, मेरा है तुम्हारा। बुला रही बुलंदियां, चलो जो भी हो, पिघल रही है दूरियां, चलो जो भी हो, गहराइयां परछाइयां, चलो जो भी हो, आवाजों से आजाद है हम। हमें कोई रोक ना पाया है, हमने ही तो बनाया है, मेरा है तुम्हारा है ये जमाना। बाज ना तू आया, हमने ही तो चलाया, मेरा है तुम्हारा। बुला रही बुलंदियां, चलो जो भी हो, पिघल रही है दूरियां, चलो जो भी हो, गहराइयां परछाइयां, चलो जो भी हो,
Wow, what a truly magical experience this was. I think sometimes you can't contain these experiences in words. It's why you probably have artists and performances. It's something you need to live through. What do you think, sir?
You know what? Looking at all the performances of music and the creative art and the associated integration, I think with this it gives a beautiful message that we can form a beautiful, wonderful world. And especially at the end, Vilas Nayak's performance, which makes me to remind art speaks where words are unable to explain. And finally, I'll end up with one quote saying, "It's time to wake up, to take notice, to raise our voices. It's a time to build back a better for people and the planet."
Thank you, sir. I don't think anyone else could have described this magical journey any better. I also want to thank our viewers for being here and supporting this initiative. This also wouldn't have been possible without our corporate partners, our speakers, celebrities, and of course our volunteers who work day and night to make this a success. You can continue to support us by logging into www.alternative.net.in and help us raise funds for COVID relief.
Alternative 20, Play for Nature. It's been more than a month. All the volunteers of Vimove Foundation consistently, productively, their day and night spending efforts to make this today live. So I would like to extend all the sincere thanks to all the volunteers who made this initiative successful. Secondly, I would like to extend a sincere thanks to all the eminent personalities of India, includes the musicians, the creative artists, the environmentalists, and the change makers and the thought leaders who inspire. They are part of this and they have given a message to the nation to inspire on the day of World Environment Day. And thirdly, I would like to extend our sincere thanks to all the outreach partners, supported partners, and corporate partners, and also, lastly, the donors who come and join hands to support the COVID cause. So it has been a wonderful support from all of them. We being a Vimove Foundation, we ensure that the whatever funds we received, we see that it's been reached to the needy people of COVID-19 affected. Thank you so much.